New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
You covertly start recording, and then when I start talking shit about Blake Z wrong.
Yeah, I really gotta shield you from this. It's best to capture your true personality, which is quite terrible.
Candid camera podcast.
If you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should make it a tradition to slander Blake Z wrong at the beginning of every single podcast, just to get it out of the way.
Does that mean that we're recording right now?
It's hard to say, really. You now get to see like everything, so you know we're recording. Also, I just blew out a candle, and the new studio space is very small, and the candle has released smoke all over, so it's kind of like nice and hazy.
Yeah. Well, maybe look at carbon monoxide poisoning and get lightheaded and maybe produce better content.
Well, that's the hope, isn't it? Anyways. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Christopher.
Damn right, it's my name.
This is where we say...
Welcome to New for 96. We're never going to be able to do that with a straight face.
What was in that candle?
Sorry, you can hear me moving some stuff around. So how was your week?
Good. Just trying to get everything together for my road trip, which is now terrifyingly like 36 hours away.
Yeah.
So
you brought the car over, which is surprising. Like, you never take the car out in rain anymore.
I know. Well, I just, wanted to drive it a little, I guess.
Yeah.
It's going to get dirty. It's going to get dirty doing 3,000 miles in the next 3 days.
Yeah, and I noticed that there's something new, or should I say new to you, on the car.
Yes.
What is it?
It has a new front valence,
Mm-hmm.
And then the front smile impact bumper is repainted and filled in and stuff.
Yeah, it's an SC, so there are no more fog light holes.
Right, no fog light holes at all. And then it used to have a front rubber front spoiler that goes with a turbo tail.
Yeah.
And it had that, so there was 45 holes approximately in the front valence, so all of those are gone now.
Amazing. And it looks really good. It's so clean.
Yeah, it'll never be this clean again because it's going to get peppered with
to hell.
Everything. But that's fine.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. And
the Fuchs are finally on. So these are 7 and 8 inch Fuchs, and they are...
Those are some pie tins you got on there.
What?
Pie tins. They're deep dish.
Yeah.
That's an industry term.
Is it?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, yeah, it is a very polished lip, but
they look very new.
They do, yeah. The wheel centers are nice and black, and the polished part is very polished.
And I couldn't tell, like, if that, like, when it was factory brand new, if it was more of a...
I think it was more of an anodized...
Yeah,
silver.
like kind of like a kind of a cloudy polish.
Yeah.
Versus mirror finish, but it looks good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, your eyes immediately go to it because it's the only shiny part or like chrome-like part on the car.
Yeah, that's true.
But it looks really good.
Yeah, and so I took the spacers off. They were 21 millimeter rear spacers,
which I had no idea. That's like significant.
Yeah, because. If you see 911 with 7 inch wheels in the rear, they tuck under. They tuck really under. You got this huge fender flare that could fit literally a 930 wheel.
Yeah,
and it's like this recessed wheel. So one of the first things I did in the first month of having the car was do the spacers on the rear, which helped. But now I don't need them, and so I do feel a little better about having that off. So I just sold them, shipped them out yesterday to someone.
Okay. Oh, you did? You sold them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, when did you sell them?
The spacers, not the
the spacers, sorry.
Yeah, just the spacers.
Thinking about the wheels, because the wheels are sitting in my currently empty
yes
storage space that helps
6 and 7
the Cayman. Yeah, and you use it as you were shooting them with like your Alien B studio lights. And they looked very nice, perhaps too nice, nicer than they actually are.
I did really bright. I shot them really bright.
Sorry, I'm signing for Kevin to move the mic a little bit closer.
Is this good enough for you?
It's a little too much you now, but it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Yeah. So I shot them. I did shoot them a little bit dramatically, but I also did some really like straight on ones with like a ton of lights. You really see all the imperfections and how kind of faded and whatever they are.
It was kind of nice, like patina. I guess it was like what causes that, because it was just kind of like on the corners of
the petals. Yeah, it's like the edges of the petals just kind of like worn off.
Is it just like the centrifugal motion or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of
erosion of 40 years.
Yeah, I guess so. They still looked good. That's good patina. Like if someone did want to refinish them and your car was like driver quality, it would look like appropriate.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but they look really good. And you said that you can't put 9s right on the back.
You can.
Oh, you can.
It just doesn't. There's no benefit.
Okay.
I mean, there's no benefit visually.
Yeah.
Because on a 9-inch
wide.
it's wider, but it all like the extra width is all inside the wheel well.
Yeah.
The offset's the same as an 8.
Oh, okay.
So there was on Bring a Trailer there was a 930 later year, and it had 8 and 9, which is odd.
Yeah.
It had 8-inch front and 9-inch rear, but it's the exact same offset.
Yeah.
Visually, for like as far as the visual.
Are you talking about that blue one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one looked very nice.
Also, I learned from the comments that it is apparently a thing.
Yes.
That you point the center of the crest towards the valve stem.
There's another thing that I have to know now.
Yeah.
About cars.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that is awful. I wish I never knew that, because now I have to do that.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Did you reposition your...
Immediately after reading it, yes.
Did you really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Why? What does that mean?
It's just like a visual neatness thing. It seems like you'd be all about that. Your life is based around visual neatness.
Yeah, but I've never really even made any type of aesthetic connection between the center cap and the valve stem.
But now I must.
Will. Oh. Do you have any wheel weights on your rims?
If I do, I can't recall. If I do, they're on the inside.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know. If I do, they're on the inside. When on the ones I pulled off, there was some weights on the inside.
Okay.
So maybe, but there's none on the outside.
Yeah, because they're definitely certain things that I'm very particular about, and even on the non-aesthetic side of things, like when I'm adjusting the temperature, and if it has like auto AC, I have to adjust it in even increments. However, I'll make an exception for 69. So, but do you do that? Well, actually, your car currently doesn't have like a temperature like readout on the dial.
The Prius does.
The Prius does, yeah. Do you just adjust it to your comfort instead of...
Yeah, I adjust to my comfort. There's times where I want it to be 71, and there's times where 70...
No one wants 71.
Sometimes you do.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
When do you want 71? Why not 72 or 70? Doesn't that feel better? Mentally?
71 feels just right.
Mentally, that works out.
No.
Mentally, it's worse, but mentally, it's also better.
When we watch TV, Laura likes having the TV volume in increments of 5.
Yeah. I applaud her for her mental neatness. I do that too. I cannot stand odd-numbered settings. I don't know why. Except for 69.
You're really going to enjoy...
But there's symmetry in that. You're going to really think about it.
You're enjoy pointing those center caps towards the valve stem.
God damn it. I don't even know how... for most rims, you have to take off the rim to pop out the... Well, I guess you could put in like a trim knife and pop out the center caps. But on the Porsche crest, there are like 2 holes, right?
Yeah, but you don't need to.
They're like pinholes that you can just kind of hook into and pull out.
Yeah.
They sell like a tool, like a removal tool, which is like $75 or something. It's just it's just like Apple selling the SIM removal tool. I guess they include it now, but
do they? I don't think they do.
I don't know actually. I guess they don't because you never have to remove your SIM.
I actually had to.
Did you? I did too, and I just used a paperclip.
I did too.
Because I don't.
But I had to swap it between my old phone and new one.
It's actually silly but amazing that Apple has like a dedicated tool when in actuality you could just use a paperclip. Like they could just pack a paperclip.
But that paperclip did seem like, oh, this is a little bit too thick. It did seem like the paperclip was like, oh, this could damage it. There was
thinner paperclips.
A couple of years ago, I put the SIM card in a phone and like I somehow screwed it up. This is why I can't work on anything. How did you
screw putting it? It's literally shaped. The tray is shaped so that you can't mess it up.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it fell in without the tray.
I just imagine you sitting there with this phone engulfed in flames, like scratching your head. I wonder if I did something wrong.
I definitely did. It took a while to get it out.
Yeah. Well, now you can have two. Mm-hmm. The X. I think the S can hold like 2 SIM cards, which now it doesn't matter because you can get like I think in the past like I wanted that for like as like a separate business line or something. You could have like a second SIM card, so have a second number, but you could never do that with an iPhone. And now it doesn't matter because I think I use a Google Voice. Or I do use a Google Voice.
I think you can also have like a virtual SIM.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Or a digital SIM or something.
Yeah. I have a 713 number for my Google Voice, which 713 is like the original area code for Houston, which...
Oh, that's cool.
That's like a New York
254.
Oh, 212.
212.
Yeah, like I don't know anyone with a 212. Like
I have a friend and his cell phone is 212.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Does he still live in New York?
Yeah, he's in New York.
Okay, lucky him.
Yeah.
He could probably sell that for an amount.
Probably.
Yeah. No one would pay anything for a 713. So I called into a dealership in Georgia today because they had an 84 Carrera.
This is the one with the bronze Fuchs.
Yeah, the platinum Fuchs.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It looks I think it looks kind of cool. Like
I like it.
I couldn't tell if I liked it at first, but it's definitely grown on me.
I really like that. I like that combo.
And they look to be 7s and 8s. But I can't tell, and I also can't tell if they're real. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna get back to me on Monday with service records, a little bit more. It's consigned at this dealership, so that's probably a good thing because I might be able to negotiate. But when I called in, the gentleman who seemed of another generation took my name.
I don't follow. What do you mean by that?
It's hard to say. He was classified likely as boomer status, and according to the website, like roster, the team roster, like that can be confirmed very easily that they are very boomer and very white, and all is fine. But when I did give him my...
What are you trying to say?
He did have an accent, and by the way, this was a Corvette dealership, and you know how I know that it was a Corvette dealership because in the photos the dashboard is so greased up with like Armor All, like you could see yourself in it. It's probably the most protected like 911 dashboard known to man. I don't even know if Armor All actually does anything. I think it's just grease. Like
it's just grease.
Yeah.
It lubricates so the dust just flies right off,
or it gets stuck on it.
Yeah,
in the grease. Anyway, so I leave my name because he's going to call me back about this information. I spell out my last name, Nguyen. He's like, is that Vietnamese? And I'm just like, I don't want to go through this. And he's like,
why not?
You speak English pretty well for... I think I cut him off. I was like, I was born and raised here. He's like, oh, okay. And then we went about our hanging ups. But... so that was an interesting part of my day.
I'm sorry I never compliment you on your English speaking ability before this.
Well, I've been waiting.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
I know you haven't done that for Blake because, well, I wouldn't be able to pass that compliment off either. One day, Blake, you keep at it. You keep at it, buddy. Anyways, so I'm kind of excited because this one, I think I'm closer to liking this one more than like the 900 of them that I sent to you this week.
Yeah. Which are the same 900 that you sent last week. It's like the market's not changing. But
it isn't.
You were observing the same thing that I found, which is that they're all black.
Yeah.
And they're all Targas.
Yeah.
There's so many Targas.
There's so many Targas. There are also so many Cabriolets, considering how few of them I think they made. Like,
well, they didn't...
SCs at least.
Yeah, SC, I think they only made it officially like 83 as a convertible.
And there are quite a few of them. And I even have like in my searches like coupes only. Like I filter out Targas and...
But there's people that won't list it.
They won't list it.
Because they know that it's garbage.
Yeah, well, they're so cheap, like, relatively. And, yeah, so that's frustrating. Yeah, because I found that G50, that 87 that I sent you, that's, like, 150 miles away. It's just so close, but I can't own another black car.
Yeah.
Like, it would be the end of me. So I've passed on, like, there's so many of them, and they're, like, priced okay. And I don't think they're priced okay because they're black. Like, I think people are willing to buy black cars, no problem. But so I was hoping for an interesting color. We'll see. This one is Guards Red, which I know is more of an obvious color than it is an interesting color, but
But it's a classic. It's so good.
It's kind of it's the iconic color. Otherwise, I would love a yellow one. And I've only seen one in my price range, like a yellow one. It was a pale yellow. SC, but it had kind of questionable history, so anyways,
they made the convertible, but I think a lot of people took it upon themselves to make their own convertibles from
I've
Targas.
I've seen some really interesting ones.
There was never officially a convertible until 83, like in the entire 911 history.
I've never even looked into like how the Targa is like constructed. Is that like, is the hoop part of the frame? Like, is it attached to, like, because it's a roll bar. Is it attached to, like, is it welded in the frame, or is it just cut out of, like, a coupe? Like...
It's a different design, but it's bolted in, I believe.
I guess I've never thought about whether or not it's just, like, it's, like, fully integrated. It's, like, seam welded in or something.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea, yeah. Or if it's stamped in there. I'm kind of curious about it now, just because if people are cutting it off, like, like how drastic that would like change the driving dynamics.
I mean, I think that's like pretty much what Porsche did too when they made the actual convertible, because it's the same window line and everything.
Yeah, that's true. Which is always kind of the shame about Targas just in general, like that,
one of some might say many shames about Targas.
Like on the 996, when I was looking at 996s a few years ago, I considered the Targa because I thought it was kind of neat that it was this huge glass roof that cost $15,000 to replace. But the one thing that always bothered me was where the C-pillar like met the fender, where they had that like cut line to remind you that this is very different.
It started life as a cabrio.
It was a cabrio line, and it looked bad.
Well, and you lose that C-pillar is the best part of the car.
I know, where it
and
like...
if you lose it...
Because it's, like, on the coupe, it, like, is a nice radius.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said the best line on the car is the C-pillar, because it flows, and it... Just the way that the windows border each other.
This looks like they had to do it, like, but they didn't. So it has like this sharp, like, angle to it as opposed to a radius. I still like. I don't mind.
But it is a cut line. I mean, it's like a giant.
It is
a contraption.
It looked worse on the 993. Although, like, the 993 was kind of cool because it was, like, the first huge moving glass top roof, Porsche at least.
Didn't they all have the little spoiler? Or was that just 90?
Oh, the hoop?
Yeah.
It was just 95, I think.
You know the Targa? I thought the Targa
actually.
I thought all
That's
the
a good
Targa
question. I don't know if on the Targa it was different. I guess that would make sense because they wouldn't have had a mounting point for the third brake light.
Oh, when we were talking about Targas,
yeah,
when Patrick was here,
yeah,
I didn't get a chance to complain about aesthetically the hood gap being a bigger.
Oh, the 993.
The 993.
Yeah,
was that what we were? Did I say that?
You said the Targa.
Oh, sorry.
There's a big panel. There's a big gap, but it's not a panel gap.
Yeah, 993.
Yeah,
there's a gap, like the hood gap to the front bumper is twice or three times as big as any of the cut lines around it.
Very prominent, and I guess it's to help with latch access when you pop the hood, but. I actually don't know the reason, but yeah, I agree, and that's why like light colors in the 993 don't really work well.
Thing?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, the whole like all of that, it's
every
designed
car
to
in the
drain.
world has a hood, so who knows?
I know, and why like they've more or less like all like air-cooled Porsche hood lines are uneven for various reasons. Yours is now, I think, like before you had that kind of it wasn't even a gasket. What is that like? Rubber piece, I guess, that gets wavy over time. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The
top of the accordion, like the top of the smile bumper.
Yeah, top of the bumper.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a gasket or if it's just a trim piece.
It's just trim. It's just a trim piece.
Yeah, that like gets wavy over time, basically.
Yeah.
So like, unless it's a fully restored one or you've got a restored front bumper, they all look like they have slightly uneven hood gaps, at least to me. But yeah, on the 993, that's the one thing that bothered me about that, because I think it looks good in white and yellow and other kind of bright colors, except when you're looking at it from the front, like the 993, you just see that wider hood gap. I just watched the Motor Week retro review for the 964, and two things to note from that. One, John Davis described the 964 as when you're washing it on the weekends, it's an R-rated activity because of all the curves.
How did he say that, though?
He said it like this. That's probably his bedroom talk. Baby, this is R-rated. And the second part is that the 0 to 60 time is like 4.5 seconds, which is like really impressive, and I didn't really think about. I mean, it had the 3.6 was the 964.
Yeah, I think so.
240 horsepower. 4-wheel drive. They did test drive a C4, but 4.5 seems like really quick for
the time.
For the time,
really quick.
So, and I didn't see if that was consistent across like all test results. Car and Driver probably got like 2 seconds flat because they always undercut everybody by like multiple seconds. So those were the only two things that I got out of that review. But yeah, so we'll see. Back to that kind of, well, for like a brief second at least, I'm going to talk to them a little bit further, that Georgia dealership, and see if like something can be done. Because like I really do, I haven't driven, like I actually missed the Cayman a little bit. Like,
really? But it's only been a week or two.
I know, but like, and I actually, like the BMW's fine. It's just it's fine. I tried to take the Celsior out every once in a while, and it's raining, so I didn't take it out, just because I try to keep it clean, because it's a black paint, and I've just like, even with ceramic coating on it, like washing it will still like, it will degrade the ceramic, and then I'll start getting spider webs and swirls, and I wish I could just let it get dirty, but I can't. The BMW, I let get dirty. Like, I rarely ever wash that thing.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a daily driver too, and it's dirt color. I mean, it's green.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, it will never like naturally have a like gleaming mirror shine to it. So, but we'll put spacers on the E91, the wagon, and they're 12 and 18, so 12 in the front, 18 in the back.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, pretty significant, and they push out it looks really. I hope not too much, but it looks just like aggressive enough, and it has the stock 17s on there, and I think the 17s actually really work well for that body. And
they're really good.
They're concave, so like it's just kind of like this discreet aggressiveness.
Yeah, and for your daily driver, like you wouldn't necessarily want to upgrade to 18s or or
no, I had 18s on my old E90, and they were so rough around inner city roads. So, and I also look forward to changing out the tires because it's on run flats right now. Like the OEM, probably not I have ones from the factory, but they're Bridgestone Pretenzas. Run flats are just bad. I do not like. You have them on the Mini, right?
I cannot recall.
Okay, probably like because I think your wife prefers to like
stick with the OEM.
Stick with the OEM, take it to the dealer. That whole that lifestyle, and so she probably has.
There's some kind of Continental, and they're the factory one, and we replaced like one at a time every 6 months, or not every 6 months. We just replaced them like one or two at a time for the last 4 years.
Yeah, I want to put some Pilot Sports on because I replaced the ones on the E90, my old E90 with them, and they're a good tire. There's a reason why everybody loves them, I guess. You have Michelin's on the 911, right?
Yeah, they're like whatever Porsche recommends for a 1980 911.
Yeah.
What they currently recommend, it's a Michelin Pilot Exalto.
Okay. I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think if you had something really sticky, you would just notice like the chassis flexing.
Yeah. I got Michelin's for the Celsior. I didn't get the ones that I wanted though. Like, and it's so weird like shopping for like comfort tires because I wanted the Celsior to be like cushy. And like it's been so I don't think I've ever actually shopped for like comfort tires, and so I wanted to get I think it's called like they're like the Michelin Prestige or something, and Nate was actually shopping for a set for his daily driver, an LS430, and so but these like the ones on the Celsior have like tremendous sidewall and tremendous tread too. But I got Michelin Defenders, which sounds weird. It sounds like it's for a truck. But
this should last you the next 40, 50, 80,000 miles.
Yeah, they're rated at 100,000. Like the tread depth is tremendous.
Wow.
I know. I hope they don't last that long because I actually don't like them.
Yeah.
I wish I took it to NTB and they were out of the tire that I wanted that were like the best comfort tires that you could buy. They're Prestige AS2s or something like that. And so I went with their like next best thing, which was the Defenders. And it's just a little like rough. They ride like a tire that is rated for 100,000 miles. So I have slight regrets about that.
That's too bad.
I know. What can you do? And I completely forgot like, you know when you get like a new car and you are just like immersed in like how to improve it, and I still have like the windows. I keep like 105 tabs open at all times, and I keep them in separate windows, like grouped by like whatever is distracting me at the moment. And so I still have like Japanese Yahoo auctions open for Celsior parts, and I forgot that I had like that search going because there's still like parts that I want to get for it. Right now I'm on the E91, and so
I could never do that because I compulsively Command W close windows.
No, really?
I close stuff like constantly.
What if you want to think about it later? Which is why
I might like bookmark it.
Okay. Because you bookmark them? I don't think I've bookmarked anything like in years. But so what I'll do is I have a tab saver too, which has like probably at least 1,000 tabs saved.
This is not normal. Those are bookmarks. What you're describing is bookmarks.
It's a tab saver. It's not as formal as a bookmark. I feel like a bookmark is like when you want to save this forever. You're marrying this website. And I also have...
It's called Holy Matrimony.
Yeah, yes. I used to use Google Reader, and so I replaced it with Feedly when Google Reader went away. I still have like about 900 links saved there.
When you save a link, that is a bookmark.
It is not. It is Actually, it is in the shape of a bookmark, the icon for it. But it's just tagged. And on Twitter, I use tweet. Why can't I think of the name? TweetDeck, and so I have a collection that I created for Read Later, and there are probably 500 plus tweets that I mean to get to, but by that they're links that I mean to get to at some point in time. Anyways, when I retire, I will in like 40, 50... I actually don't plan on retiring, but so I'll never get to these.
Okay.
But...
So you favorited those tweets I made. I guess you didn't actually read those things.
No.
Okay.
Of course not. Don't be stupid. Yeah. So the E91, I still have like... I found like ECS tuning has a 3-stage intake manifold kit.
Really?
Yeah. So you don't have to put it... I mean, you could also just go and get the parts and put it together yourself, but they package it all together. It's really expensive though, like from them, or I guess because they're sourcing from OEM parts, but it's like $1,400. And then you have to get it installed, obviously.
They offer the wheel that I want for the Mini.
Oh.
Like the OEM black 16-inch wheel.
Yeah. How much are the wheels?
They're so cheap. Like, it's really stupid that I haven't done this yet. Because it's like $260 per wheel.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
And then I can get new tires.
Yeah.
And that would be nice.
You should do that.
I know. Maybe the end of the year. I've been spending too much money.
Oh my god. Yeah. Side note on that 3-stage intake manifold thing, and as like a reminder, like what it does. So I've got a 328i wagon, and the 3-stage. This has a single stage intake manifold, so the horsepower rating is like 230, and so this bumps it up to the 335i's horsepower rating, which was 335 or 330. Sorry, 330. And it's bolt on. You have to do an ECU flash, but $1,400 is a lot. Like on eBay, the individual parts are like less than $500, but they're used. And I mean, it's probably fine. It's just an intake manifold, but we'll see. But the problem is, if I pick up this other car, my attention's gonna be diverted towards that. So
yeah, you should do that.
Hear that? Oh my god. Okay, everything's like magnified. I think it's a plane.
Yeah, I think so. We have heightened awareness.
It might be a blimp. What does a blimp sound like, by the way? Like a balloon.
Blake rode in the Goodyear blimp once.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a thing that he would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my ultimate like travel, like commuting goals is by blimp. I want to blimp to places. I'll blimp there. I'll meet you there by blimp.
That's when you'll be a supervillain.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if blimps are fast though. They just kind of
no.
like
You don't
float.
have to be fast to be a supervillain flying a blimp.
Do you find it comical how little the propellers are that like move blimps? They're very tiny.
Now.
Also, submarines, all kind of like tubular means of transport have like really small propellers, and I don't understand how that works. Because planes have huge propellers, don't they?
No.
Well, not relative to their size. Well, I guess it's the same thing. I don't know. Stop asking me questions.
Planes have more.
Oh, that's true. They have more.
Sometimes.
I guess. Well, they have a Cessna has a big one in the front.
Yes.
That's the only plane I know, so we'll stop it there. Or like a helicopter has a huge propeller. It's massive.
A helicopter is like the most janky and like inefficient like way of getting somewhere. Like it is a vibrating mess of physics that should not be happening. And you know how they say like a incandescent light bulb is like it puts off the most of its energy is creating heat, and then 30% is producing light.
Yeah.
A helicopter, I think it's like most of the energy is killing pilots and passengers and crashing, and then like 30% is air travel in a vertical and sometimes forward motion.
I don't know if the deaths happen that often. My mother, who used to work in oil and gas, she would have to take a helicopter out to rigs to inspect them, basically, and so each year she had to go through helicopter training, or safety training, which involved being belted into a shell of a helicopter and then dunked upside down in water to see if you could get out
that
in
it's
time.
Unsafe. You are proving that they are unsafe, that you take these precautions. Have you ever done that for getting on an airplane?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You never have? You can do it for a car, though. Like, you can get, car submerging training.
Can we do that?
Actually, that would be kind of fun. It'd be, maybe slightly nightmare-inducing, but also kind of fun.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. I don't know how... should we Yelp this?
You just said that you can do that.
I know that in the air, in the world, somewhere you can do this. I've seen it on TV, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
So when you said you can do this, you meant you can be on Fear Factor.
Somebody can do this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm all tangled up.
Yeah, you're so unprofessional. Speaking of the Mini, I was at the dealership, and I test drove an i3 this week.
Oh, yeah. You harassed a salesman just to kill time?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was really curious, and I wanted to drive it, and I could have bought
carbon tub, rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, the perfect supercar.
Yeah.
They didn't have any new ones because they don't like the car, and it doesn't sell well.
It is I'm sure it's a pimple in their sales lineup.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started noticing last year in the dealers that they didn't have any. They didn't have any in the showroom. They basically pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I test drove a 2016.
Yeah.
That was $23,900.
Amazing.
Original price
60. Oh my god.
Original price 60.
Yeah.
It was fully loaded.
Oh my god. With the range extender, the whole thing.
Yeah, maximum range, maximum depreciation.
Yep.
I think the range is still 45 miles. No, I mean with the range extender, it's between 100 and 150.
Okay.
But
what? No, it's not that low, is it?
It is.
No.
The range, it only has 2.5 gallons of gas.
Oh, the range extender provides that.
Yeah.
Okay. But the total range.
That is the total range.
What?
The total electric range is very low. It's sub 100.
No.
Yeah.
Way. We have to look that up. I feel like it's more. I actually like the i3.
I just looked this. I like it too. I just looked this up, but
a friend of mine bought one for 19 last year or something. But that's pretty astonishing.
72 miles battery only.
What?
The electric range is 72 miles.
Okay.
This is the previous gen. This is not the life cycle impulse.
The
LCI.
Yes. That's pretty astonishing. I thought it was more.
It never was more, and that's why I think it flopped so much. No, that's why it flopped.
I think it flopped so much because it was so polarizing in terms of its looks.
But I mean, that's what worked for the second gen Prius.
No one has, not even Toyota has been able to replicate the second gen Prius's the aura of why people ended up buying that car, because look at Honda. Honda tried to copy it with the Insight, the second gen Insight, and that was a flop. But also that car never made sense, I feel as a packaging exercise. But there are other kind of like the Leaf. The Leaf, I think, kind of works, but I don't know if that's a sales success either.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, and I'm also not sure.
Yeah.
So just some things. The visibility, I thought, out of the front was not good because the pillars are very large. Yeah. I don't know why. I think I'm going to guess that with carbon fiber, there's just different... It has a carbon fiber tub, and I'm guessing that this is obviously not LFA grade carbon fiber.
Right, yeah.
You get a carbon fiber that's this is 60% fiberglass.
It's an open weave.
Yeah, and which is fine. I mean, it's a theoretically affordable car. So it makes sense that it's not as good, but they, as a result of not being quite as strong, maybe they make the tub and the pillars enormous, and it probably gives it great safety ratings. But I did almost hit a pedestrian going around a underpass under a U-turn because there was someone just walking in the U-turn lane, like,
who does that?
Very not paying attention at all.
That's that would be like under what our that's a 12-lane freeway, so you're like walking for a quarter mile, basically, not quite a quarter mile, but like Houston, underpasses are very scary places. Anyways, because they're like flying electric cars that you can't hear coming.
Yeah.
Did they make any the LCI? What's improved about it?
The range is improved a little.
Okay.
I think it's over 100 for the battery only.
Didn't they introduce
and it has more power. It has more torque.
Okay.
It's a little sportier.
I was about to say, they introduced a sporty aspect to it, and I don't really recall quite.
I'm not exactly sure. I know it has more torque, and I think more battery power, and maybe and better motors.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's funny is on this one, 2016, the newest one they had available, because they don't even carry the car in stock because they hate it so much.
Yep.
The comfort is like sport. Comfort is like what you would think of as sport on another BMW.
Yeah.
Because comfort is the most decadent mode. Because you put it on comfort.
Decadent?
Yes, because if you put it on comfort, then you're getting, this is the temperature I want. Whereas if you're on eco, you get not as much climate and stuff.
But that's on every your car is pre all these modes.
Yeah.
Because the next gen Prius, I think, has that mode. It has an eco mode, and I just find it to be so I don't know that anyone actually. My dad puts it in eco mode on his HS250H.
I mean, I've been in many cars with an eco mode or an eco button. It's just funny, as a BMW, it's usually this sliding scale between sport and comfort, and comfort's the lamest. And in the i3, comfort is the best.
Yeah, that's funny.
that's the good one.
Oh God.
But I liked how you could the carbon fiber when you open the door and you see the carbon tub.
Yeah.
It is kind of ugly. There is a seam.
Unlike
it's not beautiful. It's
4C where they hide it.
Yeah, and the 4C, you know it's that ugly, but they put this decorative piece of big weave carbon fiber over it. Glazed.
Yeah.
That
is so. I wonder if they're gonna keep that around for a while.
The i3.
The i3, because they've had it since 2015 or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing a pre-production one in 2013.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've already announced that the next one's not going to be carbon fiber.
Really?
But they've also announced. I mean, they were about to announce the i5, and then they canceled it. I think they are.
I remember that.
Not sure what they're doing specifically with electric cars, but also in general.
I think the formula is pretty clear for a premium green car, and Tesla nailed it in the sense that it's this big, obvious status symbol, and you can price an i3 up to the price of maybe a used Tesla. I don't know. Actually, what does a Model S start at? Upper 60s?
I think it's in the 70s.
70s probably. So the gap is pretty close, I feel like.
But maybe. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the model that works. I think if you look at the Bolt, there's a car with a range of 240 miles.
Well, that's the other thing too.
And it's inexpensive and it just looks like a car. But I think the thinking when the i3 was developed was because BMW tried. They had remember the Mini E.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they found there were so many trade-offs when you take a conventional car and put electric components in it and make an electric car from a normal chassis. They found there's so many trade-offs. We have to do a clean sheet for this to be efficient enough to pack enough batteries and not have it be heavy and have it still drive and the i3 did drive really nice.
Yeah.
The way that it drove was really excellent.
I like how different it looks. It literally looks like a piece of technology.
Yeah, and the interior is one of the best anywhere. It's much cooler than the i8. It's better than any BMW interior.
But but that's a car where it makes sense to lease it instead of buy it.
Well, I mean, that's at this stage, that's any electric car.
Except for a Tesla.
Yeah, I suppose.
And that is probably one of the few electric cars that when you look at it, the used market, they depreciate very slowly. Mm-hmm. I think they're now down to the 40s for like, you can probably get one in the 30s at super high mileage, but versus like a Leaf, which is immediately like $5,000 after the first year. And then, yeah, like the i3, like I think the cheapest one you can buy now is under 15 grand, which a lot of car for the money. Like, yeah. But it is kind of, it's a really cool car. I think that it was just, it was meant to be, I don't know if they meant it to be just kind of like this brief experiment, basically. And
I think it was part of the long-term thing. I think it didn't go the way they thought it would. And then it was marketed very poorly. But also I think saying, hey, here's this city car. It has less range than a Leaf. Yeah. But it costs twice as much. Yeah. But it is better. It's more dynamic. Like, don't you care about those things? I think, I don't know. If it had the range of a Volt or a Bolt.
Do you think that part of Tesla's charm is that the whole brand is about electric vehicles versus if, like, say, you know, the Mission E, whenever the Porsche one comes out, or like if BMW had a dedicated luxury electric sedan, would it have the same like kind of cachet? Like, would someone look at it and say like, or would someone buy that because like has that kind of cachet as a premium EV, or not? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Tesla has proven its electric bona fides, obviously.
Because when you look at Tesla, you know it's a Tesla.
Necessarily haven't. I keep talking about range, obviously, which is the most basic thing with any electric vehicles. But with Tesla, you've got this literal safety net in this giant network of superchargers. Yeah. I don't like the idea that if you wanted to travel somewhere and drive there, and you could get there with these superchargers. If you don't have a Tesla and you wanted to drive an electric car to another city that's 300 miles away, I don't know that it's any easier now than it was in like 2011. I feel like the infrastructure has not changed at all. I would
agree, but I always look at that as like a semi-hollow argument because like electric cars have always meant, like the whole like notion is that where cars are most wasteful are in the city.
Right, but I understand. But Americans are not logical at thinking. Like, that's why Americans buy an SUV, because they might use it to move one weekend a year. Right. It's like, I might need to go here. And if this is my only car...
I think people are slowly getting over that, though, because there are a lot more EVs now. Well, when do you travel long distance in your own car? Like, how often does that happen?
I drive to Austin sometimes once a month.
Not once a month?
Not now because it's the summer, but I mean in the fall and the spring sometimes.
Yeah. Well, but you would take the 9. Well, sometimes you took the 911. But I feel like justification doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, like when people compare, like when they, I feel like if you own an i3 or you own a Leaf or you own something that was that had limited range that isn't a consideration, or it shouldn't be a consideration.
I think it is a consideration. I think you can't have it not be a consideration.
I don't know. I just think like if you like, I at one point considered getting an EV and as not necessarily an only car, maybe an only car, but this was years ago. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, well, what if I want to go to Austin or something like that, or when I go somewhere where obviously the range doesn't take me? Like, what would I do then? Like, I guess I just rent a car, and that thought didn't dissuade me. Like, it wasn't a consideration.
I think for most people, if you're making payments on a car and then you have to pay to rent another car,
maybe, I don't know. I just always thought it like EVs were perfect runabouts, and like I'm very much a city person. Like I live like deep in the city, and when I thought about like what I had to do on a day-to-day basis, like an EV makes like perfect sense because. Like, I might travel at most 20 miles, but in stop-and-go traffic, like, in a day. And if even that, really. And so...
And i3 makes really perfect sense. I mean, it is nice to drive. Yeah. Very nice to be in. good inputs, like nice. Like I like the way it feels.
Yeah.
Just I just don't know the value. New, obviously the value was questionable, but yeah, I think it was not quite the right strategy. Not just how it was marketed, how it looked, but just the balance of range versus.
I think, well, you're right, because buyers who pay a lot of money, I think, do want the differentiation. It's just that I think they want differentiation towards the, like, I spent a lot of money versus the I'm different. Like type of marketing. So, which is where I think where the Prius came in, where it didn't matter like what your economic status was. Like this was more about the original or the second gen Prius at least was more about standing out as like being more green, I suppose. And in this instance, like buying an i3 doesn't make you more green, and at the same time it isn't really a status symbol on the like luxury brand side either. Like it kind of exists in this kind of like weird in between. Like it's just kind of a quirky car, I guess. I would honestly, like, if I was in the market for an EV, that would be a strong contender, because I like the way they drive and I kind of like how quirky they look. I don't think it's an attractive car, but I think it works for what it is. Like, if you don't look at it as a car and more of like an appliance.
Could you imagine if they didn't sell it here? Like, how cool we would think it is.
Oh, I know.
Like the Z1. It'd be like the Z1.
And here's the thing is that, like, I don't think I'd ever consider, like, if I was in the market for an EV, I wouldn't consider a car that was an ICE car to start and was converted to an EV, like an e-Golf or something. Just because I think there are better options for like that type of lifestyle, I guess, if you're looking for that. Honestly, if I was looking for an EV today, it'd probably be like a used Tesla or something. And I have like mixed feelings about I'm not like a Tesla fanboy by any means, like but I do think they do a good thing. Like, as far as the type of cars that they're producing. Anyways.
I agree.
Yes. Would you ever buy a Model 3?
I think maybe. I could definitely see it. I think...
or would you buy...
Possibly.
Would you buy a Model S over a Model 3? Like, let's say... both options are between $30,000 and $40,000, or even less, like in the used market. Like a Model 3 eventually is going to depreciate to like $25,000 or something.
I don't think I prefer the 3 just because I think I like the size better.
Yeah.
And I like that it's like even more future looking, and it's like if you're gonna go for that, like go all in.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like the Model S is kind of long in the tooth now. It's 2012 when it was introduced? Yeah. So, but
it was first shown in like 2009, but it went on sale in 2012.
The funny thing is that, like, I don't think it's gotten stale though. Like the design, I think they could improve the interior quality, but beyond that, like, it still looks good, and it's kind of like a good icon for they just kind of in Prius vein, except without going like weird and wacky as the Prius has gone. Like, they could probably sell that car for like another 3 years and get away with it without like a major redesign.
I don't see them doing a redesign in 3 years.
Really? Yeah, I mean, you might be right. Like, I wonder if like part of the plan was to, it probably wasn't to phase it out, but they had that like product matrix where they had like these, do you remember that? Like when they had like 5 cars planned on like basically sitting on the roller skate, the Model S roller skate.
Yeah. You're talking like 2010, and there was a different Roadster that looked like a Model S Roadster.
Yeah. But anyways, we're coming up on the hour mark here.
Oh god.
Should we take a look at things?
Yes.
I always forget about this, and Kevin always walks in my house with a brochure under his arms. And
it's the whole premise here.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you have, Kevin?
Well, I don't have it with me.
What?
But I was the one thing. Just stay with me here.
All right.
One of our friends sent me. We talked in the first couple episodes about the Hot Cars binder.
Yes.
I was gifted one. I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast.
A binder?
I was gifted an Amazon gift. It was a used Hot Cars trademark symbol binder with all those leaflet pages.
Whoa.
I was gifted this.
This is very nice.
It arrived at my house. And
how is it?
As good as you remember, because you still have a bunch of these leaflets.
God.
This is the whole binder. Which is one of 14 in the full set. I do not want any more.
You imagine like someone having like an entire bookshelf of these? I mean, do they still make them?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So what I want to say is I would like to give this away to one lucky listener.
Oh, whoa.
I will ship it. We'll have some kind of, not even a contest, just say like, I want it.
Yeah.
Basically. We'll post it on Instagram.
I'll tell you what, first person to... Well, should we do this on Instagram or Twitter?
We'll do this on Instagram,
okay.
But we're just laying the groundwork here.
But what means communication mean should they... Instagram. Okay, yeah. So it's like first.
I don't see an app.
Oh.
All right, Siri. You can't. Yeah. That doesn't count. And we gift it to Siri.
Yeah. So, that's all for that. But I did bring...
Yeah. Oh.
It's a 2014 full model lineup.
We were discussing whether there should be a year cutoff for literature, because at some point it's just like cars with features that we're all familiar with.
Okay, but this one's very ironic because this is Mitsubishi Motors.
Yeah. Niche interest motors.
Yeah. I'll admit, it's not the most exciting thing, but what else gives you the Outlander Sport?
Yeah.
The Lancer.
Whoa.
The Lancer Rallyart.
Whoa.
The Lancer Sportback. Okay, you're right. This is terrible. But let me just skip to the Imia. Ooh, it's got the Mirage.
Yeah. Actually, I don't mind the Outlander as like a small CUV type thing.
I think they made it terrible at one point.
Yeah.
I think it just looks like everything else. Man. It looked cool when it kind of looked like the Lancer.
I saw a Mirage the other day, and one thing that I didn't realize is that it has a uniwiper in the front.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's I was kind of taken aback by that. I might be wrong though. Maybe it was a different car.
Here's the IMEV. The IMEV.
Oh, speaking of EVs,
revolutionary electric-powered zero-emissions vehicle. Features: LED rear combination lights.
Ooh,
that's the first one it lists.
Yeah. Does it list a crash test rating?
No, it does not.
My God.
And that's it. That's all of them.
That's short.
That's all of these.
That is all that's interesting about that. That concludes.
Look at this photo of all of them. They couldn't get them all in the same color. They wanted to.
You know, that is they all look like that now still, don't they?
I think they introduced another SUV in like 2015, and now they have the Eclipse Cross.
I saw that in our group chat the other day, and I had no idea that was a thing.
You don't remember it debuted last time? It actually debuted like right around the time of the big eclipse in August.
Oh my!
Or not debuted, but I think they started press launches.
Really?
Because they tied it in with the eclipse, which was showing a lot of foresight.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've pulled something out of my own archives.
I guess I'm done talking about the IMEO.
Yeah, I gotta stop you. But first, I'd like for you to open the cover. So what I've handed Kevin is something, but actually what I really want to talk about is what's inside.
God damn it.
I hid a different brochure within like a bigger piece of...
I was wondering how you're going to get through this 300-page book.
Yeah. Oh, but Kevin, what is it?
It's a extremely aggressively sepia-toned Saab 900/9000 brochure.
Yes.
Why is it hype? Why is there a slash?
What do you mean? Because it's both the Saab 900 and the 9000. They're different cars, Kevin.
Was this the only two cars they sold?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So this was the full line.
In the 90s, all they had was the 900 and 9000.
What about the convertible?
Well, 900 Cabriolet.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. That's what's amazing. It was a car company that consisted of two cars.
I don't know if that was a successful strategy.
I should say that I had a 900, but the reason why I have this is because I used to have one. I had a 95 900 SE, and this is a 97 brochure, 97, 98. So that was the last year of the 900 before it went to the 93, and the 9000 went away, and the 95 came in. Both of these, by the way, are GM cars that are the underpinnings are that. Kevin, by the way, everyone hates Saabs, which is why I decided to pick this brochure. But I want to show you.
Saabs are fine.
By the way, the 97 and the 98, the 98 especially, were the LCIs. Like, they had updates.
Can I just say, I don't hate Saabs. I do think SPGs are I think those are pretty cool.
I've heard you insult Blake so many times because he's like, "Hey Kevin, here's this interesting thing about Saabs,"
thousands,
and then you tilt your martini towards him and completely soak his face. Oh, look at this brochure. Do you see the wheels?
Was only 3 times.
Yep. You see how the photoshopped wheels. By the way, in car brochures, especially older ones, do you notice how many like photoshopped wheels? Like, they make them slightly bigger looking than they actually are.
I never noticed that, but I would notice that they would change them from year to year because they'd use photos from a launch year, but then tweak the car to have updates.
Okay, you have to admit that these 3-spoke wheels look really good. Like, I love the way those look. And you could get those. They basically have them.
I have to admit this?
Yes, you have to. They had that from the start of the 900 SE Turbo, because I had the 900 SE V6, which was terrible. I like how
there's 2 different 3-spoke wheel designs on this page.
Yeah.
This is different.
Well, yeah, that's the 9000, you dummy.
But it's... Oh, God.
And those are kind of cool, too. No. Oh, there's so much to look at here. Look at where the key is.
It's literally a trifold.
Look,
how is there so much to look at?
They don't even show you where the key is, which is kind of the most important part. That's disappointing. Look at all these accolades. Huh? Look at that. Safest car in Sweden, 93 to 94.
So what do we got typography-wise? Is this all Gil's hands?
It kind of does look like that. I think it is. Which shows you how forward-thinking they were, because Gil Sans is an okay typeface.
I hate Gil Sans.
And they have something else. I think that might be Garamond Italic. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, that's some flourishes on the Fs there. Kevin's closely examining. I can't tell what that is, but that's aggressively 90s typography, choicing their selections. Ooh, look at the dash plastics and how they intentionally mismatched them between the radio, the climate control, and the dashboard, even though they're supposed to be the same, I think. But, yeah, so
wow.
You asked for it by asking me to bring something from my own home, in my own home.
I guess I brought it up on myself.
Yeah. Well, I think that might be a podcast.
Yeah.
So
let's remind the people to check out the Instagram at Newford96. That's pretty much it.
Email?
Yeah, they could email us too.
Does anyone email anymore? Maybe.
Not anymore.
It's hard to say. Anyways, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.